Right, two stories we're looking at with Breakingviews here in London this morning. The UK shale gas bounty may well be tricky to exploit. There's plenty of it, but tricky to exploit, they say. And Japan is not at fault for foreign CEOs resigning. We'll find out why with Peter Tal Larsen. 1,000 trillion cubic feet of gas is potentially what we're sitting on. Under terra firma, but also under the ocean. But it's going to be too expensive to get at it.
It could be very expensive to get at it, yes. I mean, 1,000 trillion cubic feet of gas is a lot. If you could get it all out consistently at some kind of cost, it could basically mean that Britain wouldn't need to import any gas for several decades, which is quite a tempting thought. But there's a couple of problems. First of all, shale gas under the ground is relatively easily accessible, as the US has shown. But as we've heard this week, the UK is more densely populated than North Dakota or places like that, where they're getting the stuff out of the ground in the US, and you have this problem with potentially causing earthquakes, and you know, we're talking about sort of low-level seismic activity that people don't even notice, but obviously it's a potentially an issue if you start shifting the ground around.
Sure.
So that's the first problem. The second problem is that most of these reserves, at least according to the estimates, as far as we can tell now, are offshore, and getting shale gas out of the ground offshore is something that really...
Have they even tried to do that in the US?
They've tried, but I mean, it's very much in its infancy, and it's much harder. Now, the UK has plenty of experience of drilling for oil offshore, so maybe they can transfer some of that expertise into getting shale gas offshore, but that's a long way off. And even then, the best estimate at the moment is that the cost, the sort of break-even cost of getting it out of the ground offshore would be $200 per barrel of oil equivalent. The current price for imports is about $50. So the price would have to quadruple in order to make it worthwhile to do it. So at the moment we think it's interesting, but it's an insurance policy rather than some great gas bonanza.
Okay. Foreign CEOs departing Japanese companies. Of course, it's been big in the news. Olympus, etc., but it's not just happening in Japan. And let's not think this is a trend that is Japanese.
Well, you know, they say 3 is a trend, don't they, in journalism?
Well, that's right, and that's the problem here, isn't it?
And you've got the most recent one is the departure of the CEO of Nippon Sheet Glass. Follows from Howard Stringer leaving Sony. Obviously, you had Olympus before then. And Jesse Batal at Nomura, who was head of the wholesale bank at Nomura, obviously left as well. So there's a sort of sense: is there some kind of problem with culture and Japanese companies and foreign CEOs? Now, clearly there is a specific challenge for foreign CEOs managing Japanese companies. There's a language problem, there's a cultural problem, and there's an insularity about some Japanese companies that makes it hard for people to come in from the outside. But on the other hand, when you look at the things, the factors that are causing this fraud at Olympus, sort of, you know, merger issues at Nomura, sort of, you know, performance issues at Nippon Sheet Glass, those happen to companies everywhere, and CEOs lose their jobs all the time for various reasons.
Maybe it's the culture and the difference in culture that tips them over the edge. And is the catalyst for that final. I'm not the columnist here.
It's possible, but I think it would be it would be a mistake to read into this some sort of great retrenchment for Japanese companies. If anything, we think the opposite is happening. Japanese companies have got a declining home market. They've got a strong yen. They've got a big incentive to expand abroad through acquisition and also through organic expansion. And in order to do that, they will actually need more foreign management expertise than less. So we think that in the long term, actually, there will be more foreign CEOs in Japanese companies. Some of them will work out, some of them won't.
Okay, Peter, many thanks for that. If you want to watch our US Breakingviews show, that comes on every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 GMT. I'm Axel Throttle. This is Reuters.